In the decade-long evolution of Phantom Forces, the weapon meta has constantly ebbed and flowed. Countless god-tier guns have risen to the top only to fall from grace. Yet, the M4A1, a starting weapon that has been quietly sitting in your inventory since rank 0, has never truly dominated any single update. Of course, as a starter gun, its chances of becoming the absolute meta choice were always slim, but it has also never truly devolved into a useless, forgotten piece of garbage. If one word could sum up the M4A1, it wouldn't be strong or weak, but rather extreme mediocrity. In a carbine roster packed with standout performers, it feels more like a jack-of-all-trades baseline crafted by the developers. Serving as the absolute benchmark for weapon balance in the game, it defines textbook mediocre beauty through its uninspiring core stats and counterproductive attachment options. Although the M4A1 appears in almost every shooter game and stands neck and neck with the AK-47 in terms of iconic status, it enjoys no real nostalgia bonus here. Looking at its base stats, the M4A1's default numbers sit precisely on the fence of not too much, not too little. It features a base damage of 35, giving it a 3-shot kill capability in point-blank, close-quarters combat, which is slightly better than the AK-12. However, its minimum damage drops off to a pitiful 19. This means that the moment the distance widens even slightly, its damage suffers a catastrophic cliff-like drop. Compounded by the lack of a torso multiplier, it requires an absurd 6 shots to secure a kill at long range. On larger maps like Desert Storm, fighting with it feels less like a gunfight and more like giving the enemy a massage. Meanwhile, though its 780 revolutions per minute fire rate is faster than the AK family, it cannot keep pace with the bullet hose velocity of various SMGs or the AS Val. It offers neither the intimidation factor of insta-killing a foe nor a fire rate slow enough to spike your blood pressure while controlling it. Paired with a standard 30-round magazine and mild recoil, players can easily keep their shots grouped in a tight circle without needing any advanced recoil control techniques. This combination of a low ceiling and a high floor makes it feel like a glass of lukewarm water, incapable of delivering surprises, but always there to keep you safe. You might feel frustrated by this mediocrity and try to rewrite its destiny through the gunsmith. Ironically, the M4A1's extensive attachment matrix only highlights its deep-rooted inadequacy. No matter how you reconfigure its skeleton, you always end up robbing Peter to pay Paul. When players equip the carbine barrel to turn it into the 18 Malawian Kwacha's CQBR, the headshot multiplier jumps to 1.61. Yet, this attempt to push it into the SMG category still feels completely powerless against true CQC monsters. Its fire rate lags behind proper SMGs, and its damage and multipliers fall short too. Conversely, slapping on the more stable squad barrel to extend the damage drop-off range does little to help, failing to change the harsh reality that it still takes a whopping 6 shots to kill at long range. It is fair to say that its 19 minimum damage permanently locks its skill ceiling at a remarkably low level. When it comes to ammo conversions, the 6.5 Grendel, which bumps close-range damage to 39.90, seems like a shortcut, but it slashes the fire rate to 741 RPM and introduces a highly aggressive recoil pattern that shatters the gun's otherwise comfortable handling rhythm. Meanwhile, the .25-45 Sharps conversion, which chases extreme long-range velocity by jacking the muzzle velocity up to an impressive 3,097.50 studs per second, shrinks the magazine capacity down to only 20 rounds, stripping away any room for error on a rifle that inherently relies on spraying and volume to finish kills. Consequently, this weapon does not naturally generate any defining loadouts or distinct playstyles. At least, I don't believe it has any attachments that could be considered broken or overpowered. Therefore, you can choose every attachment entirely based on your personal preference. For instance, you can use a compensator or muzzle brake for the muzzle slot, pair it with an angled grip or vertical grip, and stick to the usual meta for lasers by mindlessly picking the blue laser. The only attachment that offers a genuine qualitative shift is the carbine barrel. By raising the headshot multiplier to 1.61, it allows you to eliminate enemies with just 2 headshots within 50 studs. Furthermore, its recoil is noticeably milder than the AK-12's, making it perfectly controllable even without a muzzle attachment. For this reason, the carbine barrel is my top recommendation for the barrel slot. In short, the 19 minimum damage seals the M4A1 ceiling, while its exceptional stability secures its floor. Sharing the starter weapon spotlight with the AK-12, it lacks the AK-12's 1000 RPM burst mode and suffers from lower long-range damage. However, on compact maps, it matches the AK-12's ability to drop enemies with 2 headshots when equipped with the carbine barrel. If you aren't going up against a lobby full of sweat lords, this gun is entirely viable. As long as you have decent aiming skills, this weapon can absolutely help you go on a tear. Yet, in high-tier lobbies where crossfire gets intense and every millisecond counts, the M4A1's mediocrity inevitably surfaces as a fatal flaw. For close quarters, you cannot avoid running into rapid-fire SMGs. For medium to long range, rifles like the M16A3 for 116 Hong Kong dollars or C7A2 will completely outclass it in both recoil accuracy and damage retention. Even so, it remains the ultimate yardstick of the game and its most faithful safe haven. When you don't know whether your hands are hot or cold on a given day, or when you grow tired of the cursed, heavily modified meme guns, switching back to a default M4A1 provides an unvarnished, incredibly consistent feedback loop that can help you find your raw aim again. It doesn't demand flawless recoil management, nor does it force you to overcalculate your positioning. It is a guide for beginners and one of the ultimate sanctuaries for veterans. While it is a weapon destined to be cast aside for superior alternatives, it will always stand faithfully at the rank 0 starting line, preserving the memory of how this game felt at the very beginning. Alright, this video ends here. If you have any suggestions to add, feel free to leave a comment. I'm TobyMax41. If you've watched this far and found the video helpful, don't forget to subscribe and like. Your support is my greatest motivation to keep creating. I'll see you in the next one.